Hey, what's going on, Black Stars? So you know the old adage that drills build skills? Well, it's true, but you have to understand that also drills always have safety built into them. We've talked about this a couple of times actually. But you see, those safety measures make it so that there's a flaw, and that flaw is actually getting trained too. So you have to understand that sometimes the drills you're working are not meant for combat. Sometimes the shapes that you work are not even meant for combat. You notice that the most common stance in all of martial arts is the horse stance or the rider stance. The reason is because it is an amazing stance to develop your lower body in, to develop patience, to develop mental toughness. It's a fantastic training tool. But you know what? You may find that you rarely, if ever, use that stance in a fight or in many of life's activities. But one, because it's static, and two, because you're not fighting or training combat maneuvers from that stance, you don't have to worry about it ruining your fighting because you've put it in its place. Unfortunately, there are many other drills out there that people will apply to self-defense, to sparring, to competition combat. And the problem is that a lot of these things are not meant for that. You know, if you have somebody trying to take you down and you say, well, this shape works with this, well, that's great that the shape works there, but what happens when they put 100% intent into the attack? Does it still work? Not always. Sometimes the speed factor severely outclasses the technique factor. And you see, it brings up the idea that, you know, when you're looking at production of force, when you're looking at timing, when you're looking at ranging, when you're looking at leverage and all that, the least important thing, the last thing that you should be worrying about is which technique. And when I say technique, I mean which shape of something that you're using. The principles are far more important than the technique. Sometimes you can get away with bad structure if you are compensating with force production. Sometimes if your timing is bad, you can compensate for it with speed. And if your timing is great, you can get away with really bad techniques. So, you know, it's one of those things where techniques, formal structure is fantastic for training. It's really necessary for training. But at the same time, what's important in a fight is not the techniques you use, but your intent, your timing, your leverage, your mental state. All of the other factors are far more important than the technique you use. So when you're running drills, understand why you're running a drill and what the intent behind the drill is, because intention really does change absolutely everything. Just some food for thought. Good journey.